You need to find a way to increase home ownership in that neighborhood. Apartments don't do it.
Thank you for that information. Mr. Silver, Mr. Larvadain, and we're going to hear from the council, then we're going to vote it up, down, one way or the other, and we're going to go home and let everybody spend some time with their families. Mr. Silver.
Well, I missed the last meeting, and for example, someone mentioned the fact that these people who are for this are not here. There are approximately 4,000 people in District 3. Generally speaking, 95% of the people don't participate in these things, and the question said, well, you got to listen to what the people want. Generally speaking, you people vote for your respective councilmen who are supposed most of the time
4,000 votes.
4,000 registered voters is what I'm talking about. Most of you people really have us here for one reason. We're supposed to listen and then be governed by what's happening. Now, the mayor outlined the study that indicated what was required. With that in mind, I'd like to do something, and even sometimes we make a mistake, do something instead of just rhetoric. We've been talking and talking. I would suggest that either we vote the veto or not, or forget about it, and do what has been outlined by both the mayor and his assistant, and whereby we would have an ordinance that would incorporate the 7/10 of an acre that would round that out, and number two, change the zoning so they can proceed with it and get this thing wrapped up. If we do this, then we will have another proof positive of what's happening. You have 4,000 registered voters in that area, and yet you take approximately 30% of the monies. So we've got to get the things spent. I'm a great believer in, number one, communication. What you heard tonight from the mayor perhaps should have been disseminated earlier, but at least we know it. I don't know how many are going to catch it on the program, but if you just give us a chance, I think this thing will work. And I ask that we can adopt these two paragraphs and check these ordinances, and if we can do that, I think it will work, and I would recommend we do just that.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you. I want to thank Ms. Correll for these numbers, and they're pretty accurate because in that area, people need jobs, money's tight, a lot of children. I would love to find a way to improve the income and to improve the status of the neighborhood. From what I'm hearing, the people in the community just want commercial aspects. And I would want the administration to do whatever it can to make it commercial. Now, for some reason we can't do commercial, then we may have to come back and revisit it. But at least want us to say, hey, we've done everything we can to make it commercial. If that's a restaurant, a drugstore, or whatever, they're coming back, we can't do it because of this. I want the administration to go out there and say, hey, bring us something commercial. If we can't get it, then we may have to revisit it. But please at least make a good faith effort to do it. Just coming here telling us, well, they're not going to go with this because they won't have a housing component. No, if they want to put houses, they can put houses all over the city. They can put houses on Coliseum Boulevard apartments. They can put something else somewhere else. We want to make sure that that area is commercial because if we squander it, we may not have an opportunity to have a large plot of land in that area. As I said earlier, crime is a problem. The administration is doing their best to put a safety component with the sheriff's office and the police. But understand, we're going to have to find a way to bring commercial because the people need jobs. People need jobs where they can walk to. And it's important. And once we bring money into the community, you're going to see an increase. You're going to see a decrease in crime, and you're going to see a better attitude about the neighborhood. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Goins, and I'm going to comment and vote this one way or the other.
I was just going to ask for the question, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, and I'm going to close with this. I too grew up 3rd Street. I have a business close proximity. I go to church. I love that area so much. I attended elementary school, junior high school, and high school there. I love it so much. My son attended school in that area, so I feel that I certainly have the pulse of the community. I'm concerned that those 100 folks, Mr. Goree, didn't show up. I'd like to hear from them. And what I want to do is commend, first of all, the citizens. I think this was handled very professionally. And I think folk were very, very strong on their beliefs, whatever it may have been, but you expressed it very professionally. I want to commend my colleagues administration because we're hearing a lot. And I think this is the way government should work. I want to say all that to say this. When in doubt, I have always, and I don't have much doubt here, quite frankly, I've always leaned, as I did earlier, with the district councilman. It's been a standard practice up here since I've been on this council and since I've been on the police bureau prior to this time. When in doubt, the district councilman ultimately is held responsible. Then you look to that large councilman for these decisions that we're making. This district councilman, unless he changed through the deliberations that we just had, is vehemently opposed to residential at this time. I'm going to disagree. I think we need residential, but not here at this time. I think the focus ought to be so lean towards commercial. We need to give the impression that based on what we run on time and time again, that we were committed to do commercial. Because I don't want to run again and say, look, we're going to work on it. I want to say we've done it. It's time to say we've done it. And I'm going to lean, as I did earlier, with Mr. Fowler. I feel a lot strong about this, but as I leaned earlier with the district councilman, I'm going to lean again with this district councilman who was recently elected.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. That the question's been called. All in favor, roll call.
Mr. Goins?
Yes.
Mr. Silver?
No.
Mr. Hobbs?
No.
Mr. Lawson?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
No.
Mr. Fowler?
No.
Mr. Larvadain?
Yes.
Veto has been overturned, supported, I should say. Okay, item H, committees.